Welcome to the Number Nose Tarot. I am Tennille Crystal, your intuitive numerologist, and this is the reading for Life Path 22. Let's begin with your characteristics. You are the master builder. You possess a power and potential that spans far greater than any other number, any other life path number. Your power is delicate and it must be used to inspire others to join your dream. You are gifted with sound common sense, practicality, and the talent to deal with a variety of people effectively. Your ambition and drive make you a solid partner in any relationship. Be mindful of your flexibility, as you may lack faith in the abilities of others, as they do not always possess the attributes and qualities that you bring to the table. Controlling or manipulating dynamics can be tempting once you realize that another person or a group lack your vision and expertise. Your personal evolution is a gift to the greater good. Give yourself grace as you learn to master self. Okay, 22s, so you've completed a major chapter, cycle, lesson, but in terms of self-mastery, you have leveled up. And what you completed was an aspect of your karmic path. And so karma can be good and it can be bad, but it's really just an opportunity to learn something. And the way that we experience that lesson, we tend to say is either negative or positive. You may have released something or someone, and that was your lesson, to know when to let go, to know when to release. And maybe you had to release because it was literally frustrating you, or it was a risk, or it was causing you some type of disaster. So you get to the end of this cycle, and a person, place, or thing that's in your energy, in your company, that you've been holding on to, they can't go. And at some point it seems like you realize that, okay? And so we'll break this down a little further. Along the way, whether you know it or not, you possess this new magical power, the ability to transmute. Okay? And so if you didn't know that before, it may be known to you now. We all love loving relationships and beautiful experiences. You know, we love the rainbows and the butterflies, but most often Earth is a school and we're just not going to get things that way, right? And pain is a phenomenal teacher. Frustration, anger, all of those kind of dark, icky feelings are teachers. And so you have the ability to take any energy, even the negative, even the harmful and the hurtful, and transmute it into the energy that you need to power yourself, to create, to propel yourself forward. Now, you may have been blind to the fact that by way of transmuting energy is actually how you get and gain fulfillment, okay? And so now that you've learned this, you're on the gateway of connecting with people and networking with teams and friendships and making connections that are a reflection of who you are when you stand in your power, as opposed to who you are when you hold on to people, places, and things out of some type of fear, right? So just having the courage to let go of what doesn't serve you or causes you pain means that you took all of those experiences and you turned them into good, okay? And so you are going to be in the company of the people that recognize you for the successes and for your talent and for your skills. We talked about you being the master builder, and people don't always possess your skill set. But in this sense, people don't want to possess it. They just want to celebrate you for what you can do, for who you are, and for what you bring to the table, right? And so in order to get to this gateway, in order to get through the gateway, to the people that are divinely packaged just for you to build with, to build up, to build alongside, it took a certain amount of courage, right? At some point you realize that this journey, most times you're going to walk alone, because we all have different lesson plans. we're in the same class, same city, same whatever, same job with a lot of people, but everybody is not here for the same exact reason. We're not all changing at the same exact time in the same exact way, but we're still pivotal to each other's lives. And so you mustered up a courage, and guess what? Now you can be seen for that. Your diligence is what brings in a soulmate. So whether you know this soulmate or not, there is proof, right? Your work, what you've done, what you've mastered, what you've completed in self and outside of self is going to manifest itself by form of travel, communication, some type of message, some movement or momentum. And what comes next is a soulmate, okay? This is proof of the work that you've done, right? And so even if you can't see the end, that's okay. The fact that you've gotten to the point that you've gotten to means that certain energies can kind of pour into your life. Maybe it's a trickle, maybe it's not a straight up pour, but you are about to have evidence of what you've worked on. And so when we talked about those networks and those connections, these are the people that were assigned to your karmic path after you learned a certain lesson, after you released what was causing you frustration, right? And so if you're willing to sacrifice people, places, and things to be a better version of you, then people who believe that and live that way now can come towards you. Now, you had to embrace this ending. You had to, many times in life we die. Every time we grow, we master, we level up, the older version of ourself is dying. And at some point, you kind of have to embrace that so that the new version of you can live, right? Can grow, can blossom. Now, we have the energy of the Knight of Cups. And so that's kind of like that energy of somebody who's loving and vulnerable, and they're not afraid to say, this is what I want it with you, I want it alongside of you. And so whether you are walking comfortably in the energy of passionately pursuing and doing the things that you love, this is taking you home. This is taking you to your sweet spot. Like you're about to land in the part of life where you can grow and you can start to plant those seeds in order to build the things that you need to build, right? And the people that you require, that you need, right, to play certain positions, to be in this journey with you are arriving. And so I almost feel like the battle's over. Now you can focus on love, and now love can also pursue you because you were willing to sacrifice the things that were like in opposition to love existing in your life, right? And so this is beautiful, 22s. But you had to embrace death, right? And even if you had to embrace death with something that you once loved, even if you had to embrace death with someone that you once loved, right? If you had to walk away from a home, if you invested in a relationship or a connection, if it once was everything, I think there's a point where we have to be honest with ourselves and say, I've mastered a part of myself, and because I've mastered this version of myself, this is no longer conducive to who I am today. Now, yesterday and all those days before, this was home for me. But growth, and let me say this, relationships should accommodate our growth. And in the event the people that we are growing alongside aren't growing, sometimes they can get in our way. And so you kind of have to be truthful and honest with self before you can communicate that outside of yourself to another person, place, or thing, right? And so listen, the life that you loved and the things that you are passionate about creating and being a part of are now given the proper space for you to truly pursue and engage with, right? And so you have to embrace an end. You have to detach and release in order to welcome and make room for what's now entering. So nice work, 22s. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you soon.